Hello, this is Israel on the Inspired Now Authors podcast, streaming live from Toronto, Canada. Today, we're glad to have an amazing author, Eno Sam from Nigeria. Eno Sam is the founder of the Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy, a Facebook community of over 11,000 writers, authors, and entrepreneurs. She is an editor, book project consultant, writer's coach, and also the author of 3 best-selling books. She's an official nominee of the Entrepreneurs Africa Awards as an Outstanding Female Entrepreneur of the Year. On this broadcast, we'll be having a conversation on one of her latest books, From a Newbie to a Highly Paid Author. Eno Sam, we're glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. It's good to be on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. That's an amazing profile you have right there. So you're welcome to the Inspired Now Authors podcast show. So we're going to be sharing your story today. On this podcast show, we share the stories behind life-transforming books. We'll be talking today about your book. And the first question would be, why did you title your book From a Newbie to a Highly Paid Author?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here, actually. I would say that's one of the things that inspired me to actually title my book From a Newbie to a Highly Paid Author was my own journey, my own story, and everything that went on, especially after I finished school. So it came so strong to me, when I had the gift of writing. I've been writing, since when I was a child, but at a point I abandoned the writing career, and I was literally looking for a job, submitting my CV at different places, but it wasn't coming true. So I didn't know that, my writing was something that I needed to hold on to, build a career out of it. I was just blank on what to do. I was just blank on where to start, or I was just not ready to, even go back to what I was doing. So I realized that pain is a gift. Like I always say, pain is a gift. And that was what inspired me to go back to my writing, which I was good at, which I've always been doing. And that was what, made me to, reach out to people out there, to ask them if they can move from where they are to where they want to be. So it's just like a location, a transformational journey, like you are moving from where you are to where you ought to be. So my journey actually inspired that title, because there was a time in my life where I abandoned my writing career, and I'm at this point in my life where I've maximized my writing career and it's really profitable. So that was one of the major reasons that made me to title my book From a Newbie to a Highly Paid Author. Another reason that I actually titled the book From a Newbie to a Highly Paid Author was that I realized that a lot of people had gifts of writing, a lot of people wanted to reach out to the world, but they were kind of, would I say, afraid or not able to come out. So I was like, look, you can move from a newbie to a highly paid author. So that was just the inspiration behind the book.
Awesome. That's really wonderful. I like that you said life is a journey, and on this journey, we need to understand that pain is a gift. This transformation
Absolutely.
journey. Great. So the next question would be, you have written 3 books now, 3 amazing books. So I'd ask you, what do you think is the major hindrance to people who desire to be authors, but they never become one?
Okay, I would say there are 1,001 reasons, that
Okay.
make people unable to become authors, unable to publish their books and all that. I would say, first of all, lack of vision. Lack of vision. There are a lot of people who do not have a vision for their life. And of course, if you don't have a vision for your life, you're always going to be where you've always been, because you think that's the best place. You're always going to be in your comfort zone because you think that's the best place. So when you lack vision, you don't see yourself. Like before I actually started writing books, I saw myself writing books. I had a vision. And there's something called a vision board, which is a collage of images or stuff that actually indicates that this is where you want to see yourself at a particular time in the future. So most people that actually abandon their writing career, or most people that don't get to publish their books, actually do not have that vision, because their vision, they don't have a strong reason, they don't have a strong why, when your reason is not strong enough, of course, there won't be anything to pursue. Everything on your vision board is going to stay stagnant. All right. So that's that is one of the hindrances that actually stops people from, pursuing their writing career or starting their book projects. Another reason is procrastination. All right.
Yeah.
When you keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next year, I'll do it, and the time keeps going. And the funny thing about time is that it keeps ticking, the clock keeps ticking. It's not going to wait for you. Okay. So the more you keep postponing what you should do today to tomorrow, the more you keep, putting forward what you should have done today. So procrastination is another reason that authors are still where they are. Like authors who are supposed to be authors, people who are supposed to be authors are still where they are. Okay. Another reason is lack of clarity. Okay, most people do not know how to start. They're just confused on where to begin. They don't have an idea on where to begin. That's why I keep talking about knowledge acquisition. And I always say, like I said in my book, I wrote in my book in chapter 1, where I said that the difference between where you are and where you ought to be is the information you don't have. So if you don't have the information, if you don't have the right information, you cannot become the best version of yourself. You cannot come out of your shell and get to publish your book. So those are the basic hindrances to stopping people actually from writing their books.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So the main point, one thing I got there is that a lack of vision leads to a lack of drive to complete your book. So you need vision, you need a strong why, a strong passion,
a strong reason. Yes,
a
yes,
strong reason, exactly. And then you need
absolutely.
clarity. Thank you very much. The next question would be, in your book, you talked about injecting self-confidence. I read this and I really like this chapter a lot. You talked about injecting self-confidence into your mind in that chapter on mind surgery. So I want you to tell us, give us a summary of what you mean by mindset surgery.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you for liking that chapter. The majority of the feedback I've gotten from that particular chapter, from that particular book, this particular book is on chapter 1. A lot of people said that they loved chapter 1 and how I was able to, weave the words there. So mindset surgery, of course, you know what a surgery is medically. It's a medical term. It's a process that actually helps to fix, you know, places or things, body parts that are not functioning the way they should. Because if they are not functioning the way they should, it would affect the person involved. Do you understand? So now talking about mindset surgery and how it relates to you being an author, there are a lot of people who actually want to become authors. They have this dream that, look, I want to become authors. I want to become an author. Sorry, I want to become an author. But something keeps stopping them. And what is that? Their mindset. So mindset surgery is a process whereby you want to, remove all the things that are going to hinder you, all the excuses. There's a part of the book where I wrote in chapter 1 under the mindset surgery on page 10. I said, throw all your excuses into the trash can and look beyond your fears. What exactly are you afraid of? What is that limiting belief? What is that thing limiting you? It's inside your mind. Because as long as you don't believe in yourself, you cannot do anything. Every great thing that actually comes, into reality starts from the mind. So once your mind is actually, you know, feeling depressed, or once your mind is sick, once your mind has not undergone surgical operations, of course you would always be where you've been. You won't be able to do all the stuff that you want to do. So self-confidence actually helps you to believe in yourself, to own your message, to own your voice, and to reach out to the world. Okay, so the summary of mindset surgery is that, look, you have to work on your mind, because if your mind is solid enough, whatever you're going to achieve will be solid. But if your mind is weak, your mind is sick, your mind is shallow, of course you can't do anything great. So you need to start from believing in your message, believing that people out there need to read this message, believing that what you have, it's something that would inspire somebody out there. Okay, so that's what mindset surgery is basically. So you must believe in yourself, own your message, share all the things that you think that somebody out there would benefit from.
Awesome. Awesome. Mindset surgery. Thank you very much for that. The next question would be, Why do you think people have to be authors? There's some people out there that feel, oh, writing a book is unimportant. So how would you, discuss with this kind of people?
Okay, this would constitute your strong reason. Things I'm going to say now would constitute your strong reason, because when you have these strong reasons, your strong why, you'll be able to pursue your writing career. All right. So why is becoming an author important? There are several reasons. I would say that writing books has actually uh, helped me, has actually, put me on places or gotten me to places where I wouldn't have even achieved if I didn't write a book. So the introduction is always, oh, you wrote a book on this, oh, we'd like to talk to you on that. You wrote a book on this, oh, we'd like to talk to you on that. So there are a lot of benefits of writing a book, but I'll just talk about three basic benefits of writing a book, why becoming an author is actually important, especially in the decade that we are. First of all, impact. I keep saying that a life without impact is not a fulfilling life. So what would you be remembered for? What exactly is your name attached to? How can you become extraordinary? I shared a video the other day about becoming extraordinary. I talked about impact. How many lives are you impacting? Book publishing is a good way to actually impact lives. So if you've not written your book, if you've not documented stuff in a book and published what you have to the world, how are you able to impact these people? Fine, you can be a fine talker, you can be an excellent public speaker, but what is your name attached to? What can someone hold and say, okay, this is from this person, and this is what I read, and this is what changed my life? All these things should inspire you. Impact is one of the reasons that, you know, becoming an author is very important. Okay, and another reason is authority, because the word author is coined from authority. Okay, so authority means that you have the you are able to speak on a particular subject, and you have the expertise on that particular subject. All right, so a good way to build your expertise, a good way to boost your expertise as well, is to become an author. For example, I wrote a book titled From a Newbie to a Highly Paid Author, which is basically what we're talking about here. And it shows that I'm knowledgeable about this particular subject, and that's why I keep getting a lot of questions from people on how to publish, on how to write, because I wrote a book on a subject which solves a particular problem. So authority, when you become an author, you are actually, making it official that, look, I am officially an authority on this subject. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, and at this point, I would like to say that you should be able to create content that resonates with your readers, create valuable content. And that was what inspired the name of my writing community, which is Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy, because it's not enough to just scribble words and just publish. It's not enough to just publish crap, just write whatever I think you want to write. No, in building authority and becoming an author, the script should be properly written, properly published, properly reviewed, properly structured in order to achieve your goal. So authority is the second reason. And the last reason I want to talk about here is income, really, because a lot of people don't know that there's money in writing, there's money in the writing industry. Writing is profitable, book publishing is profitable. Okay, and that brings us back to information. The difference between where you are and where you ought to be is the information you don't have. Okay, so information, you need information, right, to know that income is something that you're going to actually get from writing. Right, so becoming an author actually exposes you to a lot of income channels, strategic ways of boosting your writing career, earning more money as a writer. Right, so these are basic things that should inspire you, to want to become an author. Impact, authority, like building expertise, and income.
Awesome. Awesome. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. The next question would be for people listening out there. What would be your advice to authors, potential authors, and people would be our listeners?
Okay, I'll just conclude this question, or I'll just answer this question by saying my mantra. Mantra says, if you want to change the world, use your pen. Okay, I want to say that everyone has a book in them. You listening to us right now, you have a book in you. All right, so what you need to do is to go back to your drawing board, discover yourself, unveil what you have inside of you, and start now. Start your book project right away. Identify the things that are actually killing that dream of becoming an author, cut them off, and start your book project right away. All right, so that's one thing I want to say right now. It might be difficult, like you don't know where to start. I want to also specifically speak to coaches or consultants, trainers out there. It's not enough to actually go for training sessions, go for this and that, speak at events. All those things are nice, but it would be good to also document your journey, document your story in a book. And one of the questions that people get to ask is, how do I start? Where do I come from? I don't know where to start. You have to start by making a draft and getting that draft reviewed, okay, by an editor, by a consultant who's knowledgeable about this, and that's just the way it works. So you have to start now, do your outline, get it reviewed, get it restructured, get it rearranged, and that's it. And one of the things that I've noticed so far is that most authors get to become confused when they're writing their books. They're like, oh, I'm confused, I don't know whether this is making sense, I don't know what to do here. And I want to state here that your draft is what it is, a draft. All right, so that's one of the things I tell my clients when we are working on their books. Your draft is what it is, a draft. After you've done your draft, then we can be able to analyze what we have and ensure that it's aligning with your goals, aligning with the book project goals, in order to achieve the end goal objective of the script. So I always say, write a brilliant book. Don't just write a book, write a book that is brilliant. Write a book that captivates your readers. Write a book that is well, edited, well arranged, and something that's people can be proud of and say, yes, this is the book that I wrote and it inspired the world, and all that. So that's just what I would say to someone listening to us out there. And I would also say that you're not too young to write your book. You're not too young to start your journey. You're not too young to discover your purpose. You're not too young to become an author. Start with where you are, get direction, get clarity, and of course, you'd be, become an author in no time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. The final question would be, like, I know a lot of people will listen to this. Many people will be thinking of how to connect with this wonderful speaker, wonderful author, Eno Sam. So can you just share with our audience how they can connect with you, how they can get this amazing book?
Okay, the book is available on Amazon for those who are not in Nigeria, like those in Canada, the US, the UK. It's available on Amazon from a newbie to highly paid author. And for those in Nigeria, it's actually available with a sales representatives in different locations like Lagos and Calabar and a couple of other states. But the easiest way of actually ordering a copy is to check out our website, www.bewaafrica.com, and also send a message, a WhatsApp message to the official number 09056261695. It's available on WhatsApp. And you can also join our Facebook community for those who really want to start their book project, those who want to build their writing career. We have a writing community, that we represented by a lot of countries. Over 50 countries are represented on the community, and it's a community, it's an academy on its own, because it has a lot of insight, a lot of free training sessions for authors, for publishers, for entrepreneurs, and a lot of people. So you can also join the group on Facebook. Just search Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy on Facebook, and you just join, and the admins would get to approve your join request. You can also send a mail to enosambooks@gmail.com. That's my personal email, so we can get to talk more on whatever concerns you have.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us on the Inspire Now Authors podcast show. It was a great pleasure to have you on our show. We hope that we'll have some other time to talk with you again on some other amazing book of yours. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was a good time here too.